Hi, welcome to another one of my videos. Following on from my earlier videos on the Bearcats from Hawk stroke Testos stroke Italeri and Hobbycraft stroke Academy, I have found this kit. Now those earlier two kits were from those manufacturers in 148 scale. This one is in 172 scale and is of the Grumman F8F-1B Bearcat naval fighter, and it's from the company called Frog. Very familiar name, and it brings back so many memories for me. Frog does not stand for the amphibian, by the way. It does not mean the amphibian. It means, it means flies right off the ground. It's an acronym. And apparently the story is that it is the name of a company which started off as a company that makes these balsa wood aircraft, which have got a little propeller and a rubber band. And then you kind of like twirl the propeller and tighten up the rubber band, and then you let it go and the thing flies. It says flies right off the ground because the model also has these two little wheels on wires, which allows it to take off from the ground, as it were. So that's it. That's the background to the name Frog. I got that story from my friend who now owns the rights to the Frog name. More of that later. But here is this. And I was not aware until now that there was a 172 scale kit of the Bearcat. But here we go, right? So the Bearcat fighter in 72 scale by Frog comes in this box. I don't know whether it came in a blister pack or not, but this is what I have here. And before I open up the box, let's have a look at this just to allow us to sink in to this experience. Yeah, the box is a bit broken up. That brings back memories. And that Frog always had this. You know, even on their blister packs and their plastic bag kits, they always had this modular profile, and they give you all these nice details, so it looks very, very, professional, very serious. This one provides decals and markings for the US Navy version and a French version, so that's good news. I have not seen the decals to see what the state is, so let's pop that over and have a look. Now, this is one variation of the box opening. This one opens with the lid captured by the sides. Okay, so the little ears, as it were, go inside the box, and the front flap goes inside the box as well. Now, what Frog did was that they printed even more stuff. Okay, so you have other model kits which would be available: Gannet, Roof, Typhoon, Meteor, and Hunter. I think I have the Gannet. I'm not sure about the others, but I'll definitely look for the Gannet. So that's the box. Let's flip that open. Okay. Immediately you will realize that this is probably an older boxing, because the later boxings would open up on the outside and give you a double lid, as it were, which would be very helpful for keeping the parts whilst you are modeling. But anyway, onto this kit, the one that's in front of us. First up, transparencies. I think I may have done this, I'm not sure. I mean, it's a Ziploc bag, right? Ziplocs were not invented until well after this kit was manufactured. So let's just pop this open. Yeah, it looks like one of my bags. One of those bags that I use, you know, when you get electronic stuff and everything else, you have these little things here, right? And I always save them and never throw them away. Good idea. So that's where the transparency was supposed to be. Surprisingly clear. I say surprisingly because, I mean, this is a fairly old kit. And the other surprising thing, of course, is that this thing is in two parts. So you can pose the canopy open should you wish to do so. That's entirely up to you, depending on whether or not you're feeling that brave enough because you've done a lot of work in the cockpit and you want to show that off. That's the windshield. Yeah, see, no distortions at all, I think. And as I said, very clear and no seam for a blown canopy. Very nice. Let me just put that away so that we can be sure that that's safe, and then I will start looking at all the other fun stuff. So first up, first big sprue. All the parts look as if they're safe. You have bomb, one of the bombs, undercarriage, and this looks like as if frog, another one of their little quirks which benefit the modeler, is that they give you, I think, two types of doors. You have the closed up doors should you wish to pose your model in the wheels up position. Let me just move that a little bit so that you can see that clearer and use the box as a backdrop. And then you have this one, which clearly looks like as if it's the wheel undercarriage door pointing down, right? So which means that bit up there is the other door which opens inwards. We'll check that out later. Undercarriage leg, that looks very nice actually. Yeah, you can see that detail there. That's very, very nice. Yeah. And the wings. Yeah, raised panel line detail, but exceedingly fine. Actually quite nice. In this scale, I would probably sand them all off. But then again, of course, this is a frog. So I might want to just retain it just to show you, you know, after the model's been built, just to show what a frog kit looked like as manufactured. There's a small little seam here to depict the ring fold. It's not very precise and not very fine. I suppose you could try to improve it by maybe using a scriber, but I would leave that one alone. That's the right side of the fuselage. Very nice, no distortions, no sink marks, no punch out marks. And then you have the tail. The cowling is integral, not like the 48 scale kits which have separate cowlings, right? And this is the 2B version, so I suppose that should hopefully be accurate for the 2B. But that means, in other words, when you build the model, you're going to have to make sure that you remove all the seams around the cowling carefully. Okay, so that's one sprue. Now we look at the other sprue. This sprue has got another one of the gear down doors. The two gear up doors were on the other sprue. So one of the gear down doors was there. This is the other gear down door. Tail fins. It's nice. Raised detail again. Fuselage, this is the left side. A bit of a swirl thingy here. I'm not sure whether that will result in, I think it might, you know. It might result in a bit of an imperfection here on the finished model, especially if it's a gloss finish, right? But let's see what that would look like. The tail, I'm in two minds about the tail. It looks a bit sad, actually, to be honest. But as long as it's accurate, more or less in outline, and looks more or less like the original, I'm quite happy with it. That's the other bomb. Okay, and then the left side upper wing piece. Again, a bit of a swirl here on this side. I call them swirls because, you know, I don't know how else to describe them. But I have come across these before where some of them can be really bad. They cause a bit of a imperfection in the surface, so it's not smooth. And that would be highlighted in a gloss finish. So something to worry about, I suppose. Well, unless the decal goes on top of that, that might help. All right, that might help a lot. Well, that tells you immediately that there's not going to be very much in the wheel well for display. Again, it's not going to matter very much as far as I'm concerned. Because of the vintage of the kit, I don't expect very much. HVAR rockets are here, and I don't know whether they are accurate in terms of size, shape, and everything else. The wings, the winglets seem a little bit thick, but that's to be expected in this scale. So if it really bothers you, you can just scrape them off and then replace them with plastic card. I personally would not bother. I might maybe sand them down just a little bit, just to make them a little bit less thick. That's probably the propeller mounting boss or lug. So which you put inside, you know, from the back of the engine, and then it sticks out, and then you fix the propeller on it. Which brings me to this last sprue. So this last sprue shows you the bottom wing, which is one piece stretched right across. Starting from the left, you have, I think, the cockpit bits, these two things here. That's the seat. Yeah, needs work. I think those are the undercarriage doors on the down position. Those are the ones which seal off the undercarriage well after the wheels are up, right? So they're not the ones mounted on the undercarriage legs. They are the ones which close up and cover up the wheels to create aerodynamic smoothness. Pilot figure is provided, which is quite decent actually. Might be worth painting him up and popping him into the cockpit just to hide the lack of detail. Right next to that, you will see the main wheels, and I think this is one of the highlights. I mean, the detail on the wheels is very, very nice. It looks good, and I think it will paint up very well as well. That's very, very nice actually. That's probably the tail wheel door. And that's the tail wheel itself. And that's the engine. Now, interestingly enough, the engine is depicted with double banks of cylinders. So right off, that's immediately should be okay to use. It gives you the correct depth. And that's where the propeller mounting boss would be. It will go in through there. Okay. Seems like as if, well, it looks like as if there might be some flash, but actually it's not. It's just a shadow, so it should be okay. Belly tank. Yeah, looks like as if it's a nice shape. It has a bit of a raised lip, which I think is correct for this model of drop tank. So nice. A couple more pieces here. I think these might be. I don't know what these are. It could be the belly plate or something. I'm not sure. But we can find out when we look at the instruction sheet. So we'll put that aside there. That brings me to the instruction sheet. Now, fingers crossed, I hope the decals are inside there. Ooh. Yes, they are. Oh, and I've put them into Ziploc. Yeah, which means I did have a visit on this one before it went into the decal, well, into the model kit dungeon. So let's pop this out. Wow, that's a very nice fit for that. It's always nice when you can find something recycled which fits. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know it's scary to hear that crackly sound when you open it up, but it seems to be okay. The decals are yellowed, so I don't think we can use them. Which is a bit of a shame, really. Well, actually, I could. Apparently, there's a way of trying to remove the yellow by popping it into sunlight for a bit. I tried that with another set of decals quite a while back, and not only did it fade out the yellow, it faded out the markings themselves. So from red, they became pink. Yeah, that happens. So the decal sheet, actually, from what I've seen, seems to be usable. Most of the yellow bits are on the protective sheet itself. Why don't I show that to you one more time so that you can see that for yourself. So, see? It's not bad, right? I mean, okay, it's lost some of its glue stuff and all that. But, you know, now looking at it, I think the French markings especially are quite usable. In fact, both the markings are quite usable. So, hey, you know, me popping the decal sheet into a Ziploc bag all those years ago when I first picked up this kit probably saved it. I think, just trying to remember now, but I think I picked this kit up from Hannon's in 1993 when I was there. Yes, I did buy a lot of stuff from Hannon's in Collindale. So thank you, Hannon's. So that's it. Now let's look at the deco sheet properly. Oh, sorry, the instruction sheet properly. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Typical frog. So you start off with that. Yeah, I was correct. That's the seat pan. That's the seat base, and then that's the seat, which means it's going to be quite empty on either side. Wheels. Now this shows a stand of some kind. So I'm not sure whether this thing was supposed to come with a stand or not, but there is no stand. Wing assembly. Okay. Yes, that bit which I was looking at just now, I thought it was a belly piece, but actually it's not. It's up here. The French Air Force one apparently has got a slightly different piece. That's nice. That's a nice touch. And then that's the full load. And I think the full load of rockets and everything else. Yeah. So you see the alternatives? Undercarriage down, undercarriage up. Okay. And that. Remember that? Rovex Limited. Margate. Frog was nice. They really did some interesting kits. I mean, I can't off the bat think of any other model company which has manufactured a 72 scale Bearcat. Maybe Hobby Boss? I'm not sure. But this is the only one I've managed to find. And it's the only one I have in my stash. So, instruction sheet. Very nice decal sheet, still in one piece and usable, I think. Transparencies. And all the rest of the sprues. All go back inside. So there we have it. I decided to go and do this video now because, I mean, it's a nice follow-up from the 148 scale kits which I've shown to you. And it's a Frog. One of my favorite brands. They do tend to do these really unusual boxings, right? You have Bearcats, you have Wyverns, you have Gannets, and I have a couple more quite interesting ones to share with you. So that's all we have for today for this one. Thank you so much for joining me. This looks like something which I probably might build, actually. Since the decals are usable, or I could always find replacement decals. But then you see, if Bearcats are not really that thick on the ground in 72 scale, the result is that I might end up not being able to find proper aftermarket decals for them, in which case, you know, I'll try and see whether I can use the kit decals. So there we have it. Frog Grumman F8F-1B Bearcat Naval Fighter. Pretty decent kit. I think it should be okay. It should build up quite nicely. And thank you once again for joining me. And I will see you soon for another one of my videos on some other rare old kits from our youth. From my youth, at least. Thank you. And as always, happy modeling.